When you create volunteer opportunities that have registration type sign up, then volunteers are automatically confirmed as soon as they sign up for the opportunity. You don't have to take any special action on your part until it's time to verify their attendance. But if you make the registration type express interest, which is the option for a to be scheduled opportunity where you're scheduling different volunteers at different times, you'll get an email letting you know whenever a volunteer has expressed interest and telling you that you need to go in and confirm and possibly schedule the volunteer for when they're going to come. So when you click on the link in that email, it will take you to the occurrence record, and in this case I'm looking at a to be scheduled opportunity called Warehouse Cleanup. And if I scroll down to the occurrence connection grid down here, you can see I don't have any confirmed volunteers yet, but because these people are still pending your confirmation, they're going to appear in the pending volunteers tab. And if I click here, I can see I've got two different people who've expressed interest in doing this to be scheduled opportunity. Now, if I want to confirm them, all I need to do is click on their name and mark them as confirmed. I could email the volunteers here by clicking on Email Volunteers, and I'll get a little pop-up that'll let me send an email if I want to ask them questions. And if you asked custom questions during your in the opportunity, you'll actually see the answers to those questions here. So I had asked, when would you like to come in and volunteer? What date and time works for you? And when I open this up, I can see Valerie wants to come in on Tuesday, July 22nd. So let's go ahead and confirm her for July 22nd at 9 o'clock a.m. until noon. So to do that, I'm going to click on Valerie's name here, and I'm going to mark her as confirmed. Now, had this been a date and time specific express interest, we'd already know what time she was coming because everybody's coming at the same time. But in her case, it's a to be scheduled. So by default, it's confirmed her, and she's now in the confirmed tab, but it has the date that I first listed the opportunity. So she said she wants to come in on July 22nd, so I'm going to just change this to 07/22/2014, and I'm going to change the time that she's coming in to 9 o'clock a.m., and I'm going to set the end time. Well, she said she wants to stay till noon, so that's perfect. I've got the little red boxes around here, which means this hasn't been saved yet, so I'm just going to click Save Changes. And now she is confirmed and scheduled for that date and time. Now let's go back and take a look at our other volunteer. Here's Lois Lane, and you know what? I'm not familiar with Lois, and maybe I want to know a little bit more about her other than her answer to this custom question, right? She said, I know you said you need volunteers Monday, Friday. I can only volunteer on weekends. She sounds a little difficult to work with. But if I want to know more about Lois or any volunteer, you can always go up to the Volunteer tab and find any of your volunteers. And so if I say, hey, let's look for Lois Lane, all right, I could scroll on this list, or just as quickly I can find her, and I could schedule her from here. But what I really want to do is click on her name and go to her record, and now I can see a little bit more about her. There's her email address. I know she's over 18. I can see any information that she submitted when she registered as a volunteer, along with her her volunteer history. So I can see she's volunteered for Read to Kids quite a bit, but she cancels sometimes, and she hasn't filled out her skill profile. She belongs to a team. I can see answers she's given to other things. And maybe I just decide, you know what, I really don't want her to volunteer. She's not available when I need volunteers anyway. So I'm going to go back to that opportunity. So I'm going to click on Manage Opportunities. I'm going to go back to Warehouse Cleanup, click on View Edit Details, and then go to the one occurrence that exists for a to be scheduled opportunity. Click on View Edit and go back to my grid here to my pending volunteers. And in Lois's case, I've decided to mark her as declined. I'm not going to use her as a volunteer. And when you click Mark Declined, you can say why. And in this case, I'm going to say that her skills are not a good match. So I'm going to mark that, and now she will no longer be waiting to hear from us. She will get an email saying we're not able to use her as a volunteer. And if I wanted, and she'll show up in this Declined Volunteers tab, or I could have sent her an email saying, hey, listen, weekends don't work, whatever. But this is how you confirm and schedule volunteers for express interest opportunities.